You gotta drop that 0 to get you a hero. Period. Hi everyone, welcome back to Chat with T. And if you are new here, welcome to Chat with T. I'm Tanisha, but you can call me T. I'm so excited to be back for a second video. And today I want to talk about situationships. First off though, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you would love to see more content from me, or if you have any suggestions for content that I should share, do not hesitate, and don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe. I want to connect with y'all. Like, for real, let's connect. Let's connect. So today's topic is going to focus on situationships, and that's maybe something you guys have heard before, but for those who do not know, a situationship is when you guys aren't friends, but you're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend either, and you both do boyfriend girlfriend stuff, but there's no relationship. Like, you guys are not locked in. You're not locked in. It's very low effort, and you kind of just do as you please. Like, there's no true commitment to one another, and who wants that for themselves, honestly? I mean, if that's what you want for yourself, okay, fine. But we want healthy, loving, all 2025 and forever, obviously. But to get the healthy loving, we gotta let go of situationships. Okay, so now that we know what a situationship is, I'm going to explain some signs that you might be in one, how do you avoid one, and if you're already in one, how to get out of it. Let's chat. So the first sign that you yourself are in a situationship is you guys don't go on dates. Like, y'all might Netflix and chill here and there, but instead of watching a movie, you two are gonna be making a movie. You hear me? When it comes to situationships, it's very inconsistent, and dating is sporadic. So y'all might have went out one time months ago. Like, it's not consistent. When it comes to dating, time needs to be made to spend time with each other, to experience one another, to learn more about each other. And you're not going to do that if you're constantly laid up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to go out and do these things and really see where someone's head is, what their values are, what their beliefs are, or who they are as a person. And you got to go on dates. You got to get out there. So if y'all aren't doing that, you're more than likely in a situationship. Another thing too, if he invites you over his house as like a first date, you're gonna invite a stranger over to your house like, you don't know me from a can of paint. Now I should rob you. Because what do you mean? So that's a red flag. Always be very mindful of that. But, if this is like something new and fresh, like you guys really just met, suggest a public venue. If he denies it and it's like, no, like, come over, or something really dumb, kick him to the curb. He's gonna continue to play in your face. Once they start to play in your face, done for, honestly. Been there, done that. Learn from my mistakes. So the second sign that you are in a situationship is when it's hard for you to define what you guys have, and there's no label. So, like, you might be like, oh, that's my bae, that's my boo, my stink butt. But, you can't really call him your boyfriend or your man. So it kind of just leaves you stumped a little bit, and you sound really dumb. Or, you'll get into this mindset of like, oh, a bond is better than a title anyway. Do not settle. Titles are very important. And yes, having the title of boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that's going to bring on responsibilities, not restrictions. I think people think that having a title brings on restrictions. It doesn't. And if you feel that way, you need to really go in within and see why you feel that way. But no, it's going to bring on responsibilities, as it should. You can't have relationship stuff, committed relationship stuff, and you don't really have the commitment. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting commitment, so don't feel bad about that. And if you feel like the person that you are dating or you're in a situationship with is not trying to lock in and commit to you, then you really got to take that next step and to just walk away. You have to walk away and make room for someone who will. We want these things, and it's just not in the person that we're currently dating. And that's okay, right? You got to leave them alone if they're not trying to give you what you want and what you need. The third sign that you are, forgive me, I'm like looking at myself in the mirror to make sure everything looks good. So forgive me. But the third sign that you are in a situationship is when there is no discussion of the future. So, for instance, right, there's this like stagnant energy when it comes to situationships. Like I said, it's very low effort. You do as you please. There's no real commitment there. So when two people really want to make it work and build together, they discuss their future plans and they include each other in their future plans. I was doing that. And although plans things did not go as planned, I'll say that. But nonetheless, I was committed to this person, he was committed to me, and we included each other in each other's plans. That is how that works. If he's not saying, oh, I see myself with, your name is Sarah, I see myself with Sarah, moving to Dallas, Texas, and, building our first home within the next 3 to 4 years. If he is not in that mindset of including you in his plans, because what are we saying here? 9 times out of 10, men know their intentions, men know what they want. And I feel like you can't be afraid to shake tables. Like you really got to see what's going on, because you're going to continue to have your time wasted when you could be building a future with someone else. Like, how are you making plans with someone who doesn't even make plans with you in mind? You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair. The fourth sign that you are in a situationship, if you find yourself putting all your eggs into one basket, not multiple baskets, but one basket. That is something you never want to do. And I'm speaking from experience, okay? It's never going to end well. And I found myself dating and pouring into and caring for, loving on one person. And this man had a whole roster. Like, I really found out I was not the only one. You ain't the only one trying to be the only one. And I wasn't. I wasn't the only one trying. Dating multiple people or just dating other people, is not a bad thing. Like, you are single, you are supposed to date. That's how that works. You know what I mean? You're supposed to explore your options, right? You always gonna have some options. Don't ever think you ain't got no options. Like, somebody want to be with you. You always gonna have some options, honey. So don't ever sell yourself short. Now, I think that once you and this other person agree to become mutually exclusive, that's a different story. You're going to close out those other options. You're going to get rid of the rest of your roster, right? Because you and this person are locked in. But don't do that before you know, if that makes sense. Like, don't even do that before you know. The final sign that you are in a situationship is when he shows you he doesn't want to be with you. Like, he literally shows you. And this should have been number one. Like, this is the biggest one. This is how you really know, like, oh, you really don't want me for real. Like, it's a hard pill to swallow, but actions really do speak louder than words. I don't care what he's saying to you. You need to watch how he moves. You need to watch what he does when it comes to you, because that's going to tell you everything you need to know. Be mindful of patterns, like picking up on patterns, and when they're doing certain things multiple times. Like, if it's not just a one-time thing, oh, this is really how you behave for real. Like, you have to be mindful of that as well. When he shows you he doesn't want to be with you, that's your answer. You don't really have to wait for him to tell you, I want a relationship, just not with you. You don't got to wait for him to tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes they're not going to tell you. So I remember dealing with this guy, and, he never really broke things off. He was like doing things to push me to break things off. And that is the most coward, bitch made thing you can do. I'm just thinking back, like, why didn't he just say that? But he didn't really need to say that, because I saw how he was moving and how he was acting and just behaving towards me. You know what I mean? So, believe him when he shows you, and don't let him show you more than once, because you'll be in for some heartache. Men are not hard to figure out, but really have to pay attention and move accordingly. How do you get out of a situationship? Let's say you like fell for the okey doke, dates are sporadic, it's been like a year and he still hasn't made official, he still hasn't made it clear that he genuinely wants to commit to you. Like, what do you do? So I think one of the biggest things is having that conversation, putting your foot down and setting things straight. Like, establish those boundaries, right? Where do we stand? Are you thinking ahead with me in mind? You know, you could say, I'm ready to take things to the next level. What do you think about that? Things like that. Honesty is going to get you a long way. Um, but if you feel like it's been so long that you don't even want to have that conversation and you would rather just leave, you could do that too. Yeah, you could definitely do that too. Um, you know, if you feel like your time has been wasted, honestly, it's not going nowhere. You don't even gotta talk to him. You could just leave. Um, I support that 1,000%. I feel like men are not gonna leave you alone. I can tell you to this day, like they're not gonna leave you alone. You have to do the leaving, like you really do. And I remember personally just being stuck in this vicious cycle of like continuous situationships. I mean, like 4 years, different people, same story, same shit, different day. Like, you know, I was so afraid to have that conversation. I just wanted someone around, you know, to fill that void. And we're going to talk about filling voids and all of this in another video because I really want to talk about that. How we do things out of loneliness, how, um, you know, we do things out of lust and it really does damage in the end. You know, maybe not in that very moment, but after a while, like it really does. And I also want to talk about the connection between self love, self worth, um, and self esteem. Because when all of those are in the dumps, you're going to settle and you are going to stick around and stay with someone just to say you have someone in your life, but they're treating you like SHI. You know what I mean? So that's also important. Um, but I just feel like when it comes to this, honesty and transparency are key. And do not lower your standards for the sake of keeping him around. High standards a day, okay? It keeps the losers and low value men away. Right? So I think that's the biggest thing, having that honest conversation and being honest with yourself. What is it that you want? What is it that you're not gonna tolerate and deal with, right? You know, if you want a loving, trusting, and committed relationship, you deserve that. You should get it. Period. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that today's chat was helpful in helping you learn the signs of a situationship, how to have that conversation to get out of one, maybe to avoid one. If you've never been in a situationship before and you watch this video and you're like, oh my God, that is terrible. I never want to deal with that. I hope this helped and I'm glad it helped. I hope this also helped you establish boundaries in your dating relationship to become more noticeable of the signs that you might be in one. And like I said, just how to get out of one. Cheers to healthy, loving, trusting, committed relationships all of 2025. And just remembering to never settle. Because like I said, what you want is out there. It's just probably not in the person that you're currently seeing. And that's okay. You gotta drop that zero to get you a hero, honey. But that brings us to the end of this video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video of chat